no chatting, no liking, just action. All my just front like they tapping. You already know. Popping. Ain't no stopping me, man, steady rocking. Watch them hate on me now, cause I'm locked in. Watch the hate on me now, cause I'm popping. I ain't stopping.
And the New York Giants are the Super Bowl champs.
What's going on, sports fans, football fans, NFL fans? Welcome back to another episode of G Nation Inside Sports with your boy Big Lou, man. Your boy Miz and a few other fellas should be tapping in shortly, man. But we're gonna talk about the state of the New York Giants right now and their draft options. Considering what's going on, Alex. Some of the moves that have been made already, and some of the decisions that are being made. What's going on, guys? Gonna pop on in a few. Got home around 7:30. No worries. What's going on, Raphael? He says, "What's up, fellas? Raph in the building." Okay. Yeah. So, you got some guys requesting trades. Rumors are that Myles Garrett was told that they are in a rebuild, which means that the Cleveland Browns could potentially be drafting a quarterback, which makes the situation for the New York Giants a bit different now. So, I don't know. You guys let me know what you think. Excuse me. And salute Lou, Six Nations, Italy versus Wales on Saturday. Okay. Adam, what's going on, man? You back where? I don't see you nowhere. It's in the chat, Miz. What are you talking about? You're not backstage. I don't know what's going on with Miz today. No, you're not. Let's see what's going on here. Excuse me, Miz is bugging. What's going on, Adam? Drew, what's going on, Drew? Now, let's try this again, Miz. There you go. This is crazy. Excuse me, guys. Ay. There we go. Sorry about that, guys. Had to get Miz the link. There he is.
What's up, Lou?
What's going on, Miz?
What's going
No.
on, my boy?
I
My
don't know
guys.
with the link.
What's up?
I said, what was going on with the link?
I haven't gone into Twitter in like a month and a half, so I don't know. It wasn't there. Yeah, so then you sent it again. I got it, but I might have logged into my other one since I have two different YouTubes under my name, but by accident, yeah. I got a cold and shit. But we got to talk Giants.
Yeah, because this is hectic right now. It's not looking good.
Hold on, I'm gonna send this to a couple of my friends. Yeah.
I put the link in the chat.
All right. What's up, everybody? It is Monday. Right after the Reese's Pieces Bowl with Lou. Lou was down there in Mobile. So was Alex and his brother.
Yeah,
Couple people were down there. I know other people were there. And what's up, Two Giant Goofball? He's in the chat. Wales, my brother Wales. Adam Costas, what's going on? You know, we're going to open it up to a few people after we talk a little bit. Let guys jump in. I'd like to basically talk about what you guys saw this weekend. I wasn't there. You were, Lou. You're going to talk about it. And also, I'd like to go into this coming draft and offseason and what each person here individually's view on what they would like to see Joe Shane do.
I got there Thursday, so I can only speak to the last practice and the actual game. But Alex and them was there for the most part, for the whole week, really. So, you know, they'd be able to give you more insight on that.
Right. Well, what did you see while you were there, Lou? Until Alex hops on, maybe afterwards.
I saw Milrow looking subpar at best. You know, in the practice.
Right.
And you know, the defensive guys, the edge rushers showed out for sure, but on the trying to get this damn headphone to connect so there won't be no echo.
Yeah.
Give me 1 second.
Well, from far away, what I was looking for, obviously, is the trenches, like I always do. I hope the Giants don't forget that these trenches is not built up yet.
Nah, we definitely need work.
Obviously, the quarterback is a big topic in Giant world. We already know that. But, you know, listen, Shador's up there. Wood, obviously. You know, they didn't throw at this weekend, but a guy who I've been high on, and I think he looked pretty good, Jackson Dart. He continues to develop, and I really feel he could be somebody pretty damn good in the NFL, you know, pending where he goes. I don't know. He's not a day one starter, but he does have the tools, the body language, and the NFL material to be a pretty good franchise quarterback in my eyes. Some people, you know, they don't want that for the Giants. Other people do. Everybody has an opinion or whatever. But, hey, we'll see what happens. Obviously, Shador Sanders is the big name for the Giants, and he wants to be a Giant, it seems like. So, you know, we'll see what happens. We'll see how this plays out. I know if the Browns make a big move with the news today with Garrett asking to be traded, that could play into the draft. So
Definitely.
I mean, I said this a month ago. I thought that Garrett was going to be traded because he wanted to be, and out of respect, if they're kind of rebuilding in a way, they'd move on from him. They get to save $100 million in a way, and then they go draft Abdul Carter, and they could reset with the money wise with another edge who I believe is by far the best edge and might be the best actual player in the entire draft, Abdul Carter. So the Browns could trade Garrett. They could get themselves a 1 and a 2, and then they could take all that money, keep it because they got money issues because of Watson, and then they could go draft Abdul Carter. Is he Myles Garrett? Not many people are, but Abdul Carter is the best edge rusher in this draft, and he looks like a freak. So the Browns got options. we'll see what happens. So, what's up, Mets? What's going on? How you doing, Raphael? Thank you, everybody, for coming in the chat. Thanks, everybody, for joining.
Salute, guys.
Hey, Mets.
What's going on?
Adam.
Adam,
What's up, my brother?
long time no see, Adam.
Hey, been a while. We'll try to get a little something. We'll try to get a taste going. You know, there's not a lot, but it's a little bit to talk about. And then as we get closer to the draft, we know emotions are gonna get fired up, and people got opinions. I know Mets got some opinion. I know Adam. I've spoken to Adam several times. Adam is never shy of voicing how he feels and his opinion or the things that he wants. You know, I leave the mic for people to talk about what they want. What do you want Joe Shane to do?
Oh my God! Who
Right
wants to
now,
go first?
Let Mets have the mic. Go ahead, Mets.
Right now, I don't know which way to go. I'm still in recovery mode after Saturday, where I nearly gave myself a brain aneurysm from calling the Rumble.
Come on,
No
Mets.
joke.
Mets, I know you got opinions. Mets, what does Met want as a Giant fan? Where is Joe Shane going? What would you like to do?
No Mets, no Jets. This is
No. This is Mets 21-28.
never mind.
Hello. Adam, anyway, we need a quarterback at any and all costs in this draft. I don't care if it's Ward. I don't care if it's Morrell. I don't care if it's Shador. We need a quarterback to build on this team in the future. And then after that, we need to supplement the front line because Evan Neal has not been cutting it because Dable doesn't want to put him where he's more comfortable as a effing right guard instead of a damn tackle. Well, because brain dead Dable refuses to adapt. I mean, seriously, what is it with New York coaches being one of the three supplementary characters from The Wizard of Oz? Joe Judge, the Cowardly Lion. Tom Thibodeau, the Tin Woodsman. And we've got a brain dead scarecrow running the Giants now.
What's up, Vinny? Listen, Mets, this is what I'll say. People may not have been happy with Dable or Joe Shane, but they've been chosen to get a second chance. So I know it's hard for people to do this. We got to look to this offseason. This offseason is, to me, could be big time make or break Giants' future. We got a chance to reset and have a good future. So these are the guys that are going to do it. We got to get behind them right now. Even if you had a beef or gripe with them from the last year or two, you got to clean that slate and give them their opportunity here.
Hold on.
They're here to stay right now.
Miz, my point is, I don't care. Right now, to me, both these dimwits, and maybe all three of them, if you want to include John Mara, are right in the center of my crosshairs to be put in a firing line. They're all under the gun as far as I'm concerned this coming
Can't
season.
get rid of the owner, so
Yeah, but what I'm saying, Mets, you got to put that aside for a moment. That's it. They're here. They're going to be the guys that are going to run this offseason. Dable, it's going to be Shane and Dable.
stop telling people that.
I'm just saying. Now, what
Stop telling people. Listen, it's one thing for them to do their job.
They're here.
Miz, it's one thing
It's one thing for them to tell them to do their jobs, right? You can tell them to do their jobs better, but you can't tell people not to be mad at how they've run the team. That's just how it is.
No, I'm not
You
saying
want it just because you like to get behind people and give them chances. That's what Miz likes to do. It doesn't mean the rest of
here, Adam. That's it. They're here.
Stop. Let me finish what I'm saying. It doesn't matter if the people are going to be here. If I want to be angry at them for what they've done, I'm not going to forget about it. It means I'm going to scrutinize you even more because we shouldn't be in this position. The fact that they are in this position tells me more about the owner and the ownership and what they've done. Now, what I will give them is you have to do your job because they can't operate as if they're being fired. You have to do your job. Do I trust them to do their job? No. Do I have no choice but to watch them burn? Yes. I have no choice but to watch them burn.
Why I said both Shane and Dave, I want all three of them under the gun this year.
Vinny G, what's
they
going on,
the gun.
brother?
They already are under the gun. The only thing that saves those two backsides is a newborn, a fresh quarterback in here, not a fucking Sam Darnold, not a
Not a Kenny
retread,
Pickett, not a Justin Fields.
a newborn quarterback needs to be here. You can bring in a Fields and a Shador, a Fields and a Cam Ward. What you can't tell me and try to sell me is a Sam Darnold. This team has got far less more holes on it than being a contender. What they need to do is do their job and get a quarterback. That will save them. That will give them their chance, because what will happen is when they suck, because they will suck, because this schedule is hard as shit. When they suck, they'll have somebody to turn to put in the game to say, listen, look, he won us 4 games. He's doing good, blah, blah, blah. Let's not do what we did with the last quarterback was here. Let's keep these guys around one more year and see if they can make the playoffs. That's probably what's going to happen. If they don't, and they get a guy like Sam Darnold, they won't make it until mid-season if they struggle out.
And my point, Adam, is this. I want Dable gone either way, because if he tries to do the same, you know what he did to Jones, try to mold him into a Josh Allen clone, put together plays that can strict the playbook, and then cast the quarterback as the scapegoat for why the plays are failing instead of taking full responsibility and accountability for himself, I'm putting a bullet in his head. Pause.
You're talking to the wrong guy, Mets. Adam never liked Daniel Jones from the get, so you're not going to get no sympathy from him on that subject, sir. Next topic.
If you want to talk about Brian Dable as a coach, the one thing you want to hold your hat on is that he can develop a quarterback. That's what you're trying to hope that he can do. Now, if they are going to reset it, and they let him do what he does and pick his guy, it might be a different story. I don't know. I don't like Dable. I think his in-game management is dumb. I think his leadership skills suck. When you bench a guy last year and Deontay Banks, then put him back in, then bench him again, it shows me you have no conviction on what you're doing. Meanwhile, other people can suck across the board and they keep him in. His coaching is bad. However, like Miz said, they're going to be here. So what he needs to do, and if he gives the play calling back to Kafka, that mother needs to be on the end and tied to that quarterback at the hip, that new quarterback. He's got to be tied to him at the hip. Okay? You have an assistant head coach in Kafka, who's the offensive play caller. Let's just say you make him the head coach during the week, and then during game days, you do your CEO thing and you do what you need to do, and you get that young kid up to speed, because that's the only thing that's going to save his job. Right? Joe Shane, John, I agree with you. I don't think they should be here. I think they should have been fired on Black Monday. They weren't. For whatever reason, they were retained. The only way they saved themselves is that I don't want to hear about how bad the quarterback draft is this year. That's not what I want to hear. Brian Dable's brought in here to develop a quarterback. So if there's guys in the top 2 rounds that you can get, Ewers, Jackson Dart, Milrow, it's up to Dable to bring the best out of that guy and save his job.
Right. Well, that's basically what I was saying. I'm not mad at anybody for wanting to have changes. Of course, right after the season, most of us would have loved some changes. But now that we've gotten this far and here we are approaching the combines and getting into the free agency, and then afterwards is the draft, what I'm saying is now there's several ideas or plans of what's going to happen. What do each person want to see happen? Obviously, we want a quarterback. Which quarterback would each person prefer? People have different opinions of which quarterback is better for the Giants or better long term. I'd like to hear people's opinions. What kind of a name would you look for in free agency? Because I'm pretty sure Joe Shane's going to go grab 1 or 2 of these free agents. So I expect him. And he has to have a big offseason. So I expect him to make some moves.
Well, I mean, that's just what you expect a man to do his job. I mean, that's what you're expecting. What I'm expecting him is to have competent moves to rebuild the O-line, have some depth coming in the trenches. What are you going to do with Azeez Ojulari? What are you going to do with Darius Slayton? All right, those 2 guys, if they walk, it'll be another negative mark against Joe Shane for not trading these guys at the deadline. he has to have a backbone and turn to John Mara and say, listen, we need to get rid of these guys. Like last year against the Colts, he should have walked downstairs and told Brian Dable, look, no, I don't care what you do not win this game. Do whatever you have to do. Meanwhile, the teams across the league got the memo. The Titans and the Browns got the memo. They said, you know what? Let's sit Jameis Winston. Let's play 2 quarterbacks in Tennessee. So now they're in prime position to dictate the offseason. We're not. We're not in the driver's seat. So he's got to operate in a way where he can't operate in desperation, yet he also can't operate as if he has a long leash here. He's got to be smart about his decisions. I don't know what, but right now they have like $43 million in cap space, is what I've seen. Right, so that means they've got to have to extend a few people and bring some guys back. Is Darius Slayton here for the future? Right now, if you want a receiver, right, are you going to spend money on T. Higgins, or why don't you just bring Darius Slayton back? Right, or are you going to go spend money on edge rusher when you have Ojulari sitting out there? Those are big moves, and if those guys walk and we don't get anything for them, then it's going to be another indictment on him. So he's got to find a quarterback this year. He's got to figure out how to put a winning team out there, because we play the NFC North, we play the AFC West, we play a lot of good teams out there that we can't run this back with just nobodies.
Right.
That's for sure.
Well-
Emphasis on nobodies, because, like you said, if Slayton and Aziz walk, Shane's going to be made to look like an even bigger jackass, especially if they thrive going to somewhere like, say, I don't know, San Francisco, Tampa, Pittsburgh, Buffalo. I mean, look at how Saquon's doing in Philly. He's now on the cusp of giving us the biggest middle finger F you as a franchise if he wins the Super Bowl this Sunday.
He cannot win the Super Bowl.
Said yeah.
I mean, the Hard Knocks was not a good a portrayal of how the Giants do things, because a lot of it, we have no idea what the real talks were, because that's a lot of stuff that's left on the cutting room floor. He miscalculated with Barkley, which, you know, I knew was going to happen. I shouldn't have done it. His quarterback, who was the quarterback previous, had a better record when Barkley was the running back as opposed to not being the running back. So when you take away the guy's crutch and you tell him, oh, well, now you're going to be a 30 to 35 passer a game, that's not what his strength was.
While he's just coming back from injury, mind you.
Yeah. So, you know, they set themselves up for failure. What they should have done this last year was draft a quarterback, J.J. McCarthy, one of those guys, Penix, whoever, Bo Nix, and you could have had a guy in here right now. And guess what? Now I'm not worried about what Tennessee does. Now I'm not worried about what Cleveland does, because I'm going to get the best player available right now.
One second, let me get to these comments. But good point. Good point, though. They should have addressed a lot of these things in their first 2 seasons. Frank Wader says, fix the trenches. QB play will be better. We are not a QB away from great success. Defensive line, linebacker, cornerback on offense, right guard, number 2 receiver. Then you will see progress.
True.
Okay. Stephen Bloom, I want Will Fries and DJ Reed. Okay.
The one thing I will say is we've tried it everybody else's way. Okay, we've gotten the big players. We've gotten the star free agents. What we haven't done is put any resources in the most important position to see what we got. And I know a lot of people like to gloss over it and say, oh, don't do this or get this. Well, that's great. Great. Bring in Travis Hunter and we'll win 4 games. What's that going to do for me? What future does that give me? Besides the fact that I have superstar player out there. What brings hope, what galvanizes a franchise is when you bring in a new signal caller that people can believe in, that people can get behind, regardless if that guy fails. Now, if that guy stinks, what you do is you get rid of him. You don't sit there for 6 years trying to force feed a guy that's not good. You'll know after year 3 whether or not you have potential with this guy or not. So that's what they have to do, be smart about these things. Bring in a guy like Sam Darnold or a stopgap player like that Sure, it's a win now move, but if
Who
you
is
don't,
this question for, Stephen Bloom? He says, got it. Bad job so far. We all get the idea of what needs to be done. So what would you do to improve the team? Who do you want? Who are you asking, Stephen Bloom?
That's what I was asking. Okay, let people get their feelings out, but then we'll get to this. How do we fix this? Well, what are we looking to do this offseason?
Well, yeah, everybody's upset about how the season went, and everybody has an idea as to why it went that way, or some people may agree as to why it ended up that way. Some people have totally different opinions as to why it went that way, but we can all agree that it was trash, and it can't get much lower than this. When they say you're at rock bottom, there's nowhere to go but up. Well, hopefully this is rock bottom, because damn it, we need to be going back up.
Yeah. Yeah, listen, man. I expect to see some good moves. I expect us to have a draft because we have 11 picks in the draft. And I expect a quarterback early. Now, I was looking to cheat, me, myself. I'm looking to steal some cookies out of the jar. And when I say that, and I'm probably not realistic, but I was hoping, can the Giants draft an Abdul Carter still come up and go get a quarterback? Trade back up and get a quarterback. Maybe that can't happen. Maybe we should not gamble like that. But I was looking to get two major impact players because I want to turn this around. And I don't know. I expect my GM to work a drop of magic. I don't know. Maybe I'm hoping for too much. Obviously, I probably am. So you want to go with the quarterback at 3? Most likely, if you told me right now, you got to pick one. Who's it going to be? Most likely, it's going to be Shedeur Sanders. That's what it's looking like. That's what it smells like. That's the match. Both sides seem to want it to be with each other. So it's probably going to be Shedeur Sanders. So
my question to that, Miz, is you had the number 1 pick overall. You won a meaningless game against Indianapolis. Now you have to trade up to go get him.
Not necessarily. I think he's going to be there at 3.
Well, let's address that because a lot of people get mad about trading up.
Not if Cleveland is really doing a rebuild. If Myles Garrett is screaming he wants to trade, and some rumors are that he was told they're going to rebuild, and they're sitting at number 2, why wouldn't they grab a quarterback when Massage Watson is hurt again?
Well,
I'll tell you one why, and then Adam could go. Because I really truly believe that if Dion wants to quietly let the Browns know, do not draft my son. He doesn't wish to play for you. He wants to play for the Giants. Then
that don't mean they can't draft him and trade for him, though.
Right. All right. So that's a different. Okay, I see what you're saying.
You see what I mean? So now we would still have to give up more to go get what we already were in possession of, and then won a meaningless game for what? For Dable to keep his job?
Well,
it would have been better just to give him the pink slip if we had lost.
Well, because you got an owner that tells you don't go 0-9 at home. I want you to go try to win the game. What are you going to do when your boss tells you to do that?
I mean, I think he was telling him to try to win the game all season. He just fucking was ass. People want to say, how do you fix the team? This is where we talk about. I know people complain that I'm bitching or whatever, but if Joe Shane has any gravitas,
I never said that.
Not you. There's people in the chat saying that 2 of us were bitching, but saying nothing. Well, maybe we could just sit up on our chair right now because this is how you do something. You don't scared money, don't make money. Okay, I don't want to hear about, don't trade up to get a quarterback or don't use assets. This is your job. His job is to find a trade partner.
Time out 1 second. Sorry, Josh. I don't know who you are. You have to show your face backstage before I put you on. Just so I know you ain't trying to free willy or nothing on camera. Oh, okay.
Lou, if you don't mind. Okay.
That's J-Lay.
Can you fit one more?
Pause. Nasty. Some of them. Yes, I can. You nasty.
Yo, listen. 2 giant goofball is great. Bring this guy.
Drew. Yeah, Drew's welcome all the time, bro.
Bring him up. He got a lot of input, and
the link is in the chat. What's up, J-Lay?
For the last 5 weeks. So
my point to land the plane quickly is you can't just sit there and be like, oh well, if you want to do Sanders and you're worried about what Cleveland's going to do, and let's say Tennessee's like, you know what, we're not going to necessarily draft a quarterback. We're going to draft Travis Hunter or Abdul Carter. We want one of those 2 guys. And you're sitting there and you want Shedeur Sanders, you can't hope that Deion Sanders is in the ear hole of the ownership in Cleveland. You go up and you make your move. And if that means taking the first pick in the draft of next year in 2020 and using that as an asset, as a valuable tool. Think about it like this. Everyone says, well, the Giants don't have anything to play with. Well, maybe the other teams think of it the other way. Maybe the other teams look at the Giants and say, well, they're going to probably suck. If they give me their 2026 pick, they might be a top 5 pick next year anyways. That might be valuable. I can parlay that into getting a quarterback next year. So the Giants can
That's
get
my
Shedeur Sanders.
point. Now we're gonna have to bet the farm to go get the guy that we could have got if we had not won that game. But I mean, no use in crying over spilled milk.
Well,
But
but
that
my
was
point
exactly my point.
right. But what I'm saying is to me, I can't be worried about that now. The mission's still the same. You know what I mean? It's just maybe a little bit harder, and you have to entice somebody more. Now, we hope that the draft falls our way, so we don't have to worry about that. However, if you have to go up and make a move, you got to weigh the options, and the team's got to think of it like this. We know what the Giants are doing, and they're going to try to probably tax the shit out of Joe Shane, knowing that he is a desperate GM on the hot seat. So they may try to fleece
You
him.
don't do
That's up to Joe
grocery
Shane.
shopping when you're hungry.
Exactly. So we'll find out. But if you like Shedeur Sanders, you don't let that guy even attempt to get to Cleveland unless your intel. This is where intel comes in. Tells you that they're going that Tennessee is going to pick Travis Hunter, and then the Cleveland Browns will take Ward or Shedeur. That's where you're left at 3 to pick your quarterback. What they cannot do is if one of those two guys are on the board, pass on him because they have a need, and you might as well get a guy like Shedeur and not worry about
Max.
Ward and Dart later.
Max said, "What up, fellas? Too tired to join, but I'll keep listening until I fall back to sleep." Drew says, "Editing segments of our show now. We'll try to pop on later if she's still going." Frank laughs at me saying, "Making sure you ain't trying to free Willie on the screen." And Drew says, "Are we saying that he didn't say to win the games prior to that game?"
Exactly.
I don't know if we tanked on purpose or if we were just that bad. But either way, it was horrible to watch.
Well, funny stat someone
What's
told
going
me
on, Alex?
that Brian Dable does good against Gus Bradley defenses. So it could have just been an anomaly that he just happened to play a Gus Bradley defense and they woke up that week.
No, I feel strongly about this. I really do. I feel that they were in a full-blown tank, and I'm not saying that they were good. They were probably losing the games anyway, but the play calling was a damn tank.
Horrible. And they used a quarter of the playbook at best.
Yeah, and I feel that Shane, Dable, and Mara, they were all in on it. They all spoke about it at the bye week. Okay, this is not stupidity. You got to go to the owner when you're in an organization that never did that, and you got to explain to him what you're about to do and why. And he was with it until the fans started flying planes over the stadium, and Mara started becoming really embarrassed in front of the whole league. And he then put the head. All of a sudden, all the rumors came out that Dable's job was on the line. He was getting fired. And they came out and played a football game against the Colts. And Dable called a different style of game than he did the previous 8 weeks. And I think it was obvious. And that's what happened.
Tank, I think it's just everybody says, and it's a strong word. Tank is like you're actively trying to not win. I think they limited their playbook, and I bet you they try to explain it as, oh, well, we don't want to, use all of our know that we're not in a position to really compete for a playoff or something. I think they limited their playbook just so they wouldn't show everything they have. I don't think they pulled out all the stops, but I don't think they actively hey, don't run as fast on this play or.
Well, see, the reason that I would give you some pushback on that, Jaylee, and shout out to you for popping in the stream. Haven't seen you in a while, man. Hope you're doing well.
I didn't even know Jaylee was in here. What's up?
But the reason I would give you some pushback on that is because why would you pay Daniel Jones, right? And then sit here and let Saquon leave and sit here and say, we're not paying you $40 million to turn around and hand the ball to a $12 million running back. So you're giving the perception that This is Daniel's year. No, you said that. This is Daniel's year.
Yeah.
Right? And then you go out there and you do half stepping with the play calling, lackluster performance. You let guys leave that you did not develop. It's obvious you didn't develop them because they went elsewhere and shined. So you obviously don't have a coaching staff in place that develops players. You can't keep the players you're supposed to keep. And then you have a coach who cannot play call a winning game for a season consecutively.
No, all you're saying, all the stuff that you're saying, you're completely correct. But it's just like I just can't fathom. Millionaires are prideful people. They don't want to be made a mockery of. Like, why would you just purpose? Then, as a competitor, as a player, how would you be like, oh no, I'm not going? You know what I'm saying? I want to be a loser. That's not even having that kind of mindset. Is not how they got to be a professional athlete. You know.
Well, you can lose without having to be quote unquote tanking. You could just do what the Cleveland Browns did and IR guys that are banged up. And there's no excuse when you're putting bad players out there. Well, guess what? You know, we had to IR Deontay Banks because he had a foot injury. We had to IR this guy because he had a foot injury. And you're going to lose by just attrition alone. So, yeah, I get what you're saying. You don't want to tank and everything like that. But the other two teams in front of you who got the memo did that exact thing while the Giants were not doing that.
Yeah. I mean, you're right. Shit. I guess that's the business part. You know what I'm saying? It gets real.
I mean, a lot of guys were banged up. It's not like they couldn't put them on IR and say, you know what, the rest of the year.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but if that's the case, then I mean, well, shit, these kind of, is it the coach? We ain't even gonna be able to. It doesn't matter who we get. It's not like any of these quarterbacks in this draft are, world beaters. Change.
Well, let's stop there, because what happens is we say the quarterbacks aren't good now. Then they come out and they play, and we look 5 years down the road and we're like, well, the Giants have a chance to draft that guy, and they didn't. So, like, that's what we do every year. We say this quarterback stinks, that quarterback stinks, this guy's not good, and then all of a sudden you look back and you're like, man, Lamar Jackson should have been the number 1 overall pick in his draft. But he's not, because we're sitting here poking and prodding his game right now. It's up to Brian Dable, whoever quarterback they draft, to make him the guy. And there are some solid quarterbacks in this draft that aren't last year's class. So stop comparing them to last year's class. And they aren't the Kenny Pickett class, but they're better than that class.
But when you have Zion, what's going on?
What's Gucci, fam?
I would want to draft, but I mean, if we got Travis Hunter instead, I wouldn't cry.
I'm not saying you're wrong to do that, but we've done that already. We've drafted Evan Neal. We've drafted Kayvon Thibodeau. We drafted Malik Neighbors. We drafted everything but the quarterback. So why not just try to draft the quarterback and see what happens with a guy you believe is a quarterback guru, and that's what you brought him in here for, and Brian Dable.
Shador.
What's up, Zion?
What's up, G?
What's going on, brothers? We got Zion. We got Alex.
You caught me out of like such a right moment. I was about to hop on with the boys, and you're like, we're live. I'm like, okay, let's get it.
What were you watching?
Well, I was about to hop on the Call of Duty. You know what I'm saying? Get my stress out.
Oh, I thought you said the NBA. The NBA is not a real sport anymore. So.
Stop it.
Coach,
the Dallas Mavericks on a real team.
Hey, what's up, Coach Ed? I know it's not an NBA stream, but a lot of fun things are going on in the NBA right now. But we
LeBron BA?
Luka and LeBron on the same team is going to be heaven. Fox and Wimby on the same team. My God. And I'm a Miami Heat fan, and we can't find any trade.
Hold on. Give Kyle his notice. Give Kyle his notice, because insecurely he needs to let us know that he want to thank us for Barkley 5 times in the chat. So you're welcome, Kyle. Go win your Super Bowl.
Kyle is they ain't winning nothing. They ain't winning nothing. Listen, no. There's no winning for the stinking seagulls, okay? Yeah. The freaking lice-infested pigeons of the sea will not win nothing. The fix is in. The Chiefs are going to three-peat, and Andy Reid is going to go down in history, okay? But Saquon Barkley will not win a ring. Not today.
You know, here's my
I give
thing.
all of you go fast, miss. I
Go
give
ahead,
you
my
guys
bad,
all
Zion, you
permission.
talk. Go ahead, Zion.
I'll give you guys all permissions to talk as much shit as you
No,
want to,
see, you
Kyle.
talk. Go ahead.
He's my best friend since the 5th grade. His name is actually Gary. He's a big Eagles fan.
Who's that?
And I knew him since 5th grade.
Oh,
Kyle.
Kyle? All
So
right.
talk
I
as
don't
much shit
mind.
as you want. He knew that he can only get
Yeah.
one Super Bowl in 99. The New York Giants is a 5-star organization. The Philadelphia fans are lucky if they're a 3-star organization. And we have the best player in all of sports on defense in Lawrence Taylor. I don't know what you guys have
Here we
as the
go.
Eagles, but that being said, though, you guys will probably lose to the Chiefs in the Super Bowl, and that's probably it. On back to the Giants. I don't want to take the mic too long, but I just, I'm a big believer of if you guys fall in love with a quarterback, I don't care where you guys take the quarterback. If you guys fall in love with a quarterback and they want to take him at 3, I'm down with it because no quarterbacks in this draft class is even ranked in the top 20 picks, if you really think about it. The first quarterback that's ranked in the top fucking 20 is well, I guess Cam Ward, and he's the 17th best player overall. Sanders is the 42nd best player overall, and the guy I want is the 96th player overall.
Pause.
Would you pause? Yeah, I don't want him. Pause. The guy I want them to draft. If you guys was to tell me, Zion, would you want them to get Abdul Carter and draft Doit in the 2nd? I'll be absolutely on board with that. As long as we get a free agent in here. One thing we need to do this offseason is fix the quarterback room. Whether it be bringing someone like Mariota, which he might go to Oakland now. Oh, I'm sorry, Las Vegas now, being that Kelly just got hired at Oakland at Las Vegas, so he's going to be under Pete Carroll. So he might want Mariota because he was on the Eagles when he drafted Mariota.
When DJ walked, I said go get Jameis Winston.
James Winston is another one,
right?
Yes.
I said trade back, get some draft capital. I've been pounding this on the table since I started my YouTube channel. Fix the fucking O-line. O-line. Listen, I made Tyler Linderbaum videos. I made you go back and look through my YouTube history. I've been making O-line videos and linebacker videos since I started G Nation Inside Sports. The O-line and the Blitz Squad. That's what I started this channel on. And it don't matter if you got Tom Brady back there. If your O-line can't keep the dogs off his ass, he's dog food.
What happened?
The Giants proved that in the Super Bowl against the GOAT twice.
But the offensive line wasn't as egregious as it was.
No, it wasn't as bad. But when Andrew Thomas got hurt, it all went to shit. So you can't have it all be dependent on one guy.
I get what you're saying, but the quarterback play was terrible too. So
yes, of course it would.
Yeah.
It goes hand in hand. Like the quarterback can mask a lot of the problems with the O-line because he's anticipating. He's got pocket presence. Your O-line has to be just good enough to give you time. You are, on the other hand, as the quarterback, have got to get the ball out and make the right decisions. The thing that we need to worry about is look at what the good teams do, right? What do they all got? They all have their guy, and then once they have their guy, they build around that guy, and then they draft at spots like the O-line. Like, for example, you look at the Eagles, they're going to draft a guy in the O-line, and they don't care. And then if he's bad, they get rid of that guy, and they bring in another guy because their coach is Jeff Stoutland. Right? They know how to manufacture things. You look at the Steelers; they've been constantly good on defense because they just keep drafting their players and they build around it. You look at what the Chiefs have done. The Chiefs had the worst team in all their teams they've had, talent wise. But one thing is constant, and Mahomes makes everybody back there look good. Now I'm not trying to compare every quarterback like that. What I'm just trying to say is, while we build the trenches, we got to build guys that are going to help out as well. Right now, the Giants' history has always get the skill position players. In the Jerry Reese era, we drafted receiver after receiver after receiver. In the Galeman era, we drafted 4 linemen. In 2 drafts, we drafted 4 linemen. It just didn't work out. I don't know what juju is over this stadium, who sold their soul to the devil, but it's been bad coaching. We talk about Bobby Johnson, right? People were saying how bad this guy was. He goes to Washington, and their lines improved. There's something in the water philosophically here that's not working out because we brought in John Runyon, we brought in Illuminor. Those guys weren't terrible, yet somehow they regressed. And I agree with Lou. You need more depth here. We don't have a lot of depth. And the problem is when you have a lot of depth because you put a lot of money into your free agents, you can't get that depth, and then you draft terribly. The last 2 drafts outside of this one have been terrible drafts outside of 2024. None of those guys are panning out to be great players. As a matter of fact, we want to get rid of most of them. So when you don't have depth like that, you draft terribly, and you're bringing in free agents. And then in this draft, he didn't draft BPA. He drafted all need. Oh, McKinney left. I drafted Tyler Newman. Oh, I needed a corner. I drafted Adoree Phillips. The only luxury pick he made in this draft was Malik Neighbors. That was a luxury pick. We didn't have to get him. We got him, and that's what started. Now we have to reset. The problem I had with last year was I would have done what you're talking about this year, is trade down and acquire more picks.
That's absolutely
in last
right.
year's draft. Because we weren't going to win anyways. We didn't have a lot of draft capital to begin with, and you could have got more players in a fairly stronger draft last year with the players that were coming out than it is this year. Instead, we stuck in, and it is what it is. The last thing I will say is this team needs to figure out what their identity is going forward.
That's
and that's how you
facts.
can draft your team. If you're like, we're going to be, if you look at Pittsburgh, they're smash mouth. They get guys that fit that mold, right? They get heavy set guys that just are going to run down your throat. Eagles, they have their certain types that they're looking for. We
Well,
don't
that's
know
the
what that is
issue.
anymore.
That's the issue. The Giants have lost their way, and everybody thinks that football has evolved and we need to transform and reinvent the wheel. No, the Giants have always been the Giants. We're going to outmuscle you. We're going to run through you. We're going to beat the hell out of you on both sides of the ball, and we're going to play action. That's it. That's what the Giants are. That's what has won us our 4 Lombardi trophies. Now everybody wants to go West Coast offense and the pretty
It's
little
not going to work.
speedy guy and the skinny little pass edge
I think you
rusher.
have to adapt.
No, we need to get a freaking bulldog in there that's going to stomp on you and tread the damn grass afterwards.
Yep. I will say this too. But fast, Adam. I will say this. Like,
hold up. We got to let the other guys talk. Alex has been in here for 10 minutes and hasn't even said hello.
Go ahead, Alex. Just came back off the Senior Bowl. Hopefully, you had a good trip. Seen that picture with Joe Shane. I give you a lot of props for not wanting to punch him in the face and keeping it casual. Good job.
Wow. Yeah, I mean,
way to kill a sponsorship, Zion. Yeah.
Well, he's not going to get sponsored by Joe Shane.
I think he was talking more in Lou's aspect, but no, it was
that is true. Lou wouldn't have to get a picture of that.
Yeah, no, it was a fun time. I wanted to ask him a question, but that was like an afterthought, and I'm like, damn.
So I said, why the hell do you stick with DJ?
I would have said, how's Barkley now? How does Barkley look now?
Yeah, you don't know how many people DM me on Instagram saying, why didn't you ask him that? But
if he wants to keep his credentials, that's what you want to do.
How do you keep
hey, was Barkley worth $13 million? Sorry. Go ahead.
It's all right.
Alex is a professional, and he's not going to do that. Go ahead.
I know.
Well, sometimes you got to ask the tough questions in a nice manner. But I will say that I think one of the biggest flaws that the Giants had last year, contributing to the conversation, and you guys are right about the identity and all the talking points, is that they didn't draft. Miz was one of the first guys to hit on this. They didn't draft an O-lineman last year, right? Andrew Thomas went down. They put stupid Azudu in there, and he totally he was bad. And then they went back to this guy, and then they went back to this guy. Like, it was a totally loaded O-line class, and they decided that Zudu was better than Evan Neal, and then they went back to different guys. It was just a mess. I do agree with Adam. I don't think the O-line was like the worst thing in the world last year. Giants just didn't have depth. I don't think the Giants were tanking. I'm going to be completely honest. I do think Mara kept them, not because of some backdoor tanking deal. I think it was generally because he's afraid of this perception of we're a terrible organization because we get rid of guys every 2-3 years. I'm standing on the platform that they should have been fired, but Obviously, we're way past that point, so I guess I'm gonna wait to see what they do, and whether it deserves praise or critique. I obviously will do that. As far as a tip from the Senior Bowl, I'm not going to go too deep into it unless y'all want me to, or whatever questions y'all have. Is the O-line class isn't as deep as it was last year. There are some guys that I watched that I really liked, some guys that need developing. If this year is the year for D-line, though, I will say that.
Only organization where you can go backwards and still keep your job.
I was gonna say we'll never miss on the D line. We're drafting D line every other year. It feels like some years we exhibit 2 D line. It's like, okay,
we didn't get one
last year. No, this is a very talented defensive tackle draft. This could be a historic defensive tackle draft. So I'd like us to snatch one.
And I will say this because I do
Giants talk on the bottom there. Go ahead, bro.
I will say this real fast because I want the homie to talk next to me. My bad, bro. I didn't get your name.
You're good. Go over.
Yeah, real fast. I will say this. This is not a year, as much as I want a quarterback, this is not a year to reach at a quarterback. If they love any quarterback at 3 and they feel that they want to take that quarterback at 3, go right ahead and take them. But don't waste a pick just on a quarterback just because you need a quarterback. I want them to really evaluate this roster and fix the quarterback room. And I'm not saying pushing the can down the road, but don't just take Monroe at 3 because you need a quarterback. Now, if you feel that he can change the franchise, then go ahead and take him. And I always bring up his name because, yes, we're a team that we can get hurt. Like our left tackle, Andrew Thomas, can get injured, and we're kind of concerned on who's going to – are we going to be able to hold up for the next game, right? Mahomes is such a great quarterback, right? But look what happened when he had to face – Tampa Bay in the Super Bowl with 2 of his starters down. They ended up losing that game. O-line really matters and depth really matters, and we don't have that. So if they would like to trade out of that spot and acquire more picks, or even go out there like Miz was saying and take a D-line guy and take a guy like Carter that is arguably one of the best players in this draft outside of Travis Hunter, then I won't be opposed to that. But we just need them to have a plan, because when you come out last year in week 1 with Daniel Jones, Drew Lock, and Tommy DeVito in the quarterback room, I'm questioning that as a Giants fan. That cannot happen. So if you want to go take a Jameis Winston and you want to go pair him with a Jackson Dort later in the round, and you want to go take Travis Hunter, you want to go draft Abdul Carter, you go right ahead. But I just want them to not reach at a quarterback. As much as I want a quarterback and we need a quarterback, don't reach to get a quarterback just to get one there. But I'll let other people talk. I don't want to hog the mic.
I would say this: if you're going to reach for a player in the draft, the only position I would ever say you should reach for is quarterback.
It's a quarterback.
Yeah. Point blank that way. And I'm telling you right now, come hell or high water, barring any kind of trade at 1 or 2, Shedeur Sanders will be a Giant. There's not a single doubt in my mind that's what's going to happen.
I agree with you, bro.
As far as I'm concerned, I'm not even talking about the first round anymore. I'm talking about where we go in 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, and all. That's where I'm at, because I'm that dead set that's going to happen. The Giants aren't hiding it. Sanders ain't hiding it. No one's hiding it. It's just a matter if the Raiders is the one team I would say could pull something off maybe and try to get pick 1 or 2. But let's be honest here. You got Cam Ward probably going Titans #1 overall. They can set up this generational talent all they want. They're just trying to gauge trade value. That's what they're looking at right now. Mm-hmm. And no one's going to trade up in this draft for the first overall pick, because there's not going to be a huge difference between pick 1 and pick 5 unless you need a quarterback.
That's true.
So Shedeur Sanders, then obviously you would think the Browns might be interested in #2, but I find it very difficult to believe that Deion Sanders has a list of teams he's going to tell not to draft his kid, and the Browns wouldn't be on that list.
Right. That's what
if there's a list with teams you don't want your kid to go to, if you're a dad that's played in the NFL,
Browns is #1.
Exactly. And probably Jets are #2.
Yeah.
For being very frank about it.
I'm going to jump in there for a minute. To John, I'm almost sure Cousins is going to be brought into the Browns.
I don't think so.
I want to ask the panel. I want to pose a question to the panel.
I feel like he is.
I know Alex wants to say something too, but here's my question to the panel. Now that Kelly is the Las Vegas Raiders offensive coordinator. What's your thoughts about Pete Carroll going out there and getting Will Howard in the second?
I mean, they'll get a quarterback at some point in this draft, and I wouldn't be shocked at all if Russell Wilson does go to the Raiders, obviously, to be a bridge quarterback for a little while.
Russell Wilson says he wants to remain at Steelers, but we'll see how we'll see. We'll see what happens.
The Steelers have to want him to remain to be a Steeler.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was saying. We'll see what happens with that.
I want $1 million. Doesn't mean I can get it.
Exactly.
I want to be a Steeler if you're going to pay me that kind of money too. What the hell? But I mean, what it boils down to is, if you have a choice between Russell Wilson and Justin Fields, who are you taking? You're taking Justin Fields, who, let's be very frank, I think at times played better than Russell Wilson and is 10 years younger than him.
And has a 1,000-yard rushing season in his second year. Like, you know what I'm saying?
I mean, I feel like Russell Wilson has 2 years. He is deep and short. That's it.
Because Pete Carroll might want Russell Wilson because of his past.
Well, they got to both want each other. The same point at that. Right. I mean, let's be honest here. Russell Wilson's not going to have 10 teams knocking down his door to be a starting quarterback. Let's not act like he's Russell Wilson of 10 years ago. Like, he's going to have 1 or 2 people saying, hey, we're going to bring you as a starter. We don't guarantee you how long you're going to be the starter for because we're also going to draft somebody else. That's the conversation that's going to be had. Point blank.
Well, the question is, who's getting Sam Darnold? That's the question.
If the Vikings are smart and Sam Darnold is smart, he's staying with the Vikings.
Really? Don't get me wrong. He threw that. He threw that ball nice at the Pro Bowl, but that's not what people rushing you. I'm good on Sam Darnold.
Yeah. But here's the problem you run into. So JJ McCarthy's first off has had to go for multiple surgeries, not just one. Multiple surgeries had to go back. So you have no guarantee of what you're getting at him next year. Sam Darnold, if you're him, you got to be sitting there saying point blank to yourself, I sucked at multiple places. I went somewhere where I was surrounded by, Jordan Addison, Justin Jefferson, TJ Hawkinson, a good offensive line, and one of the better offensive minds in all of football. And now all of a sudden, I look good. He's got to be smart enough to know it's the right scenario for him.
He definitely ain't coming back to New York.
I would tag him personally if I'm the Vikings.
I agree. I would do that exact thing because you could say, listen, prove it to me. What were the last 2 games really who you are? Or was that just an anomaly of the moment, right? Because he played a good season. You got to give him that. But, revisionist history. You don't want to be caught in a situation where you're paying this guy and he ends up reverting back to a pumpkin, right? So the smart thing would be probably tag him that way. If somebody does want him, you get some compensation for him.
Yep.
And it's not worst case scenario. You get to let McCarthy rehab his knee a little longer, and then he plays one more good season, and boom, he can cash in somewhere else.
Yeah.
I'll say this real quickly.
Kevin O'Connell's about to turn Daniel Jones into a beast over there, Adam. I know you hate the man, but he about to go over there and fuck everything up.
He looked like a beast when he was a Giant, that's for sure.
Well, I mean, he's a free agent, so I don't know about that, Lou. But anyway,
yeah,
something we caught on to when we were down in mobile, whatever the fuck.
Mobile.
Yeah, Mobile, for the correct term. Jim Nagy, the director of...
Man, you picked up the accent fast, didn't you?
Yeah. You got to say y'all, too.
Yeah. I do say y'all a lot. So
somebody actually said that in one of our videos. I said y'all, and they said, "What part of New York do they say y'all?" I'm like, Florida. God damn it, where half of us move to eventually. Deal.
Yeah. It's funny because you actually a 2-second side topic. You wouldn't believe the amount of people that are actually down there from New York.
Oh,
like
yeah.
we went to church yesterday, and they're like, "Yeah, we got family in Brooklyn and Queens." I'm like, "What?" But anyway. Jim Nagy, who obviously was a former NFL scout, he said that a couple of teams across the NFL only have 10 players with first-round grades this year. So everything else is going to be pushed into place, or I should say, like everyone else's evaluation. So it's really going to come down. It's really going to be interesting. And then the second thing is, what if the Raiders? I do get the idea of Will Howard with Chip Kelly and all. What if the Raiders, though? What if they trade up to 2 with the Browns because the Browns want to move back and get picks for a rebuild?
Would you taking that too?
No yeet.
If that
What was
happens,
the
I mean,
He
last-
said
what was
no
the last
yeets.
round?
He said no yeets.
now,
I don't
in
think
that
they're gonna do
scenario,
that.
are you saying Cam Ward to the Titans and then the Raiders getting?
Yeah, are you
Sanders?
saying Sanders to the Raiders?
Okay.
Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying.
Okay, so if Cam Ward goes to the Titans and Sanders to the Raiders, who do you want at 3? Your personal choice.
Taj. Hardest
What's up,
working
Taj?
man on Twitter.
Who do you want at 3, Alex?
I'm indefinite. I'm like in between trading back for more picks, and then probably let's see. I listen. I like Abdul Carter, but the Giants are not. There's no place for him on this team unless you trade Thibodeau. So I'd probably go Travis Hunter.
So let's play your scenario out. Let's say there are only 10 guys that are first round grades, right? What are you gonna? What makes the Giants all of a sudden going to turn around and say, "Let me trade out" when they have a chance to get one of the top 10 players in the draft? Like logically, last year would have been the year to do it because the draft is deeper in players. So you would have done it last year and got more bang for your buck. This year, if you're in the top 10 and there's only about 10 blue chippers in the draft, someone has to fall in love with the blue chippers there. So if you give up Travis Hunter to go down a few spots, the guy that you get better be one of those 10 picks, or otherwise you wasted your time.
I think Dable was so excited at pick 6 that Neighbors was still there. He couldn't even stand up. I'm not even kidding with you. I think he had a man crush on the idea of getting Neighbors. I really do.
And as much as I wanted a quarterback last year, I am happy. I'm happy with Neighbors. He's definitely a dog. But it's all about if for me, I really like Moreau, but I don't know if the Giants will take him at 3, and that's why I posed the question.
Don't you dare say that name.
Moreau?
I watched that man up close and personal.
We don't need a running back.
This whole weekend.
Jalen Moreau is a quarterback.
He's a running back.
I know who he is.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I ever see that man in a New York Giants jersey, I might rush the field.
Let me ask you this: what did they say about Lamar Jackson when Lamar Jackson was coming out? It's not about what
Lamar Jackson was a better player.
He was a better
in college
prospect,
as a passer.
But that's what I want to know. It's like,
did you watch his receivers turn around, give him a look like WTF when he was throwing the ball at him at the bowl game?
Yeah. I just
Senior Bowl, he looked like you're throwing everything in the dirt.
I mean, I remember last year looking at Burton when he was coming out of Alabama, going, "Oh my God, look at how many times this kid's wide open and the quarterback can't get him the ball." Now
I love you, Zion, and you're entitled to your opinion.
Yeah,
but I just watched that man this weekend, so it's still fresh on the brain.
Okay, I didn't watch the Senior Bowl, honestly. I need to go
anyway,
back and look.
The answer to the question though is draft back or go Will Johnson out of Michigan, because I think he is the bar none the best corner. I don't think Travis Hunter is.
What about, and we're naming players outside of the quarterbacks, right? So what about this defensive tackle from Michigan?
It's a very, 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 very deep defensive tackle draft. I can get a tackle later on.
Graham?
I agree with Drew.
Yeah, I can see that.
A lot of edge rushers and defensive tackles.
Yeah, I can get them later on. There's only one Will Johnson in this draft. I'm telling you, he's going to be that good. And that's going on a limb, because point blank, there's a lot of corners that fall flat.
The cornerback from Michigan.
Look at Deontay Banks. Just saying, but Will Johnson is going to be special, I think.
We do need a cornerback, and if you guys value him at 3, but I'm just saying we do need a quarterback too. So we taking Jackson. What's your guys' thoughts on second round quarterbacks? Let me hear your guys' opinion on them.
Listen, I promise you, Dart's going in the first round. I promise.
Yeah, he will be late first round.
He's first round. But we got to grab one of these two guys. We got to grab Ward or Sanders. And I know people ain't really sold on these two guys, but what are you going to do outside of that?
Yeah, this is a not so good of a quarterback.
Here's the problem with the Giants is that you're at the point where you have no choice but to quote unquote reach for somebody, because you got nobody, because they didn't invest in the position. And so now you are in a draft where the draft is, bereft of quarterback talent, and you've got to find a diamond in the rough. And this is why you brought on Brian Dable. So if you think Jackson Dart is not going to make it to the second round, you take him at 3 and now don't worry about if it's a reach, because if you know that's the guy.
DJ at 6.
Right. I mean, but if he stinks, great, you move on from him. That's what the thing is. This when you draft the quarterback, understand what you can do. You don't have to sit on that guy for 6 years if he stinks. They're both going to be fired regardless of what happens anyway. So if they don't get a good quarterback in here, they're all out. And next year you're back up there picking a pick or getting somebody in next year's draft as well. So to me, just take your swing. If it happens to be Dart and it works out, great. If it's not, you move on, and next year you find your other guy.
So I'll give you guys a name that I really like at quarterback right now, and some of y'all saw him this weekend at the Senior Bowl. Dylan Gabriel. He's short, I know, and that's what you always. He's short. I get it, but it's not like there aren't people who haven't succeeded at that height before.
But I ain't picking him at 3.
No, I'm not saying 3. I'm saying third round.
I say this. He's from the islands, and we ball. We outside of Florida and Texas, we have some players from the islands. Okay, let me tell you, when he played for Mililani is a tough team, and when he transferred from Oklahoma, I'm gonna ride with my dog from Hawaii. If we get Dylan Gabriel, I have nothing to say. I love that kid because I'm from Hawaii, so I'm gonna love him regardless.
And I'm from Oregon, so I'm not gonna complain about a duck, man. I'm not.
Hey, let's go. Let's go.
To me, he's getting a little bit snubbed by all the talk. It's like, again, he's not first round talent. I get it, but
they did Doug Flutie the same way. They did a lot of guys.
Bryce Young.
He's
Bryce Young,
but like he's the same height as Russell Wilson, and Russell Wilson got it done.
Well, actually, Russell Wilson, I think, is an inch taller. He's the same height as Kyler Murray and Bryce Young, I think.
Yeah.
But
well, let me ask you this, and I don't know. I'm asking. I'm actually asking because I'm really big on this. Everybody knows that. That's why I did not want Khalid last year anywhere near New York. Would he be able to handle the New York market and pressure, especially with this fan base right now?
It's hard to say because none of these kids have faced that before.
Yeah, I mean, shit, you don't know if seasoned veterans going to be able to handle the New York.
Yeah. That's true.
I always use it as the Randy Johnson analogy. Remember, he got traded to the Yankees and he couldn't handle New York. Seasoned veteran that played like 50-plus years in baseball.
It's like the reverse of a 12th man. I mean, it's like the reverse of a 12th man. The New York media. It's like the shit that fucks up the players instead of helps them out.
I have a question for Drew though. How would you execute? Let's just say the Giants. Dylan Gabriel is one of the quarterbacks in the room. How would you surround him? Like, what would be the plan?
Well, no matter what, I think the Giants have to get a veteran quarterback as soon as possible in free agency. That's got to be target number one. Because no matter who you draft, I don't like the idea of putting a rookie quarterback out there week one, no matter what. I hate that. Give them a chance to, learn the system, get used to acclimated to the NFL in general. Even if you get Sanders or Ward, I don't want to throw them out there week one. I want to give them a chance to actually mature in the league first. Kind of like what they do in Green Bay. It's part of why their success is there. They let the guys mold them first and then bring them out there. I don't care if we draft somebody who sits for a whole year even. All I care about is his long-term success. But like I said, I would go get him. I mean, Fields is my guy I'd love to get. But again, I don't think the Steelers are going to let him walk out the building personally. But he's my number one target. But yeah, just get a veteran quarterback that's not going to embarrass us all year long in general. And then, like I said, I think they want Sanders. I do think Sanders is going to be the guy. But if they don't, and some trade happens and it goes 1-2 Ward Sanders or Sanders Ward, whatever, then yeah, go get a guy in the mid rounds that you can try to develop. And if it doesn't pan out, like someone said, you let him go. But I think Dylan Gabriel is one of those guys that if he doesn't succeed as a starter, and there's no guarantee he will, he's going to be a third round pick. He's not a guarantee to work in this league kind of guy. But I think he's at the very least going to be a potential backup in this league.
I feel that.
One thing I will say about him is he has a lot of football under his belt, and that is one of the pluses going in his direction. He's played in a lot of programs. Was the best team in football this year, record-wise, up until he met Ohio State in the playoffs. But he's done some things where you're like, maybe I can get him in here. See, I just think it's about time for the Giants, right? So I don't know how much time Dylan Gabriel is going to need off the jump to go. And especially in the third round, that guy's got to come in and be lights out, for them to save their jobs. I'm looking at it like this. Joe Shane and Brian Dable need to save their job. They're going to try in the first 2 rounds to get a guy that they can hang their hat on, so to speak. Dylan Gabriel, to me, would be one of those luxury picks. If he happens to slip to the 4th or 5th round and you want to take another quarterback and he's there, I would definitely take him and say, I bring bring 2 rookies in the room and then let him go at it. I'm not going to necessarily knock his height. That's probably one of the reasons why he's falling. Is because of his height. I guarantee you, if that guy was 6'4", we'd be talking about different.
Man.
Oh, absolutely. He'd be top pick, number 1 overall.
He'd be a second round at worst.
Yeah.
I would say this though, he did have the best accuracy in all of quarterbacks in college football this last season. That's now the first time that Oregon had to face Big Ten opponents. Now they didn't have the hardest schedule, but they didn't have an easy out, and he did go undefeated. I get it. Oregon's Ducks, they have good receivers, they have a good team, they're loaded, but he did his job with what he had, and that shows you something. Yep. It's not like he played in the Mountain West. You know what I'm saying? He's out there undefeated in the Big Ten when the champion came from the Big Ten, which is Ohio State, a team that they did beat in the regular season.
And to answer your question, Alex, what I would do with Gabriel is first off, I'd change the playbook to have a lot of rollouts to get this guy out of the offensive line's viewpoint because he's smaller. So he's going to need to see the field a little differently. But getting him out on some waggles and QB rollouts will probably help him. And you can't do it all the time because obviously this is the NFL, they'll catch on. But to get guys with skill positioned players like Malik Neighbors and a few speedsters like that and allow him to roll out and see the pocket like that, that's what worked well for Russell Wilson. The one thing that worked well for Russell Wilson when he was younger is he used to take one of the deepest drops I've ever seen a quarterback take, and that would allow him to see the field. And, of course, he had that rocket arm where he could throw it all over the place. I don't know how strong Gabriel's arm is, but you're not going to necessarily need him to drop back, as far as Wilson did. That was a different time in the NFL. Now everything is shotgun, half read. So if you allow him to do that, he could be effective in that regard. Like he could be Gardner Minshew, except better. Right? Just think of it like that. Now, do I want that to be plan A for the Giants? No. I want plan A to let's try to get Ward or Sanders and then Dart. And then if the plan falls off, keep chipping away at it until somebody falls to you. What I don't want is they draft that like Canadian quarterback that came at the Senior Bowl and do all that shit. But hey, guys, I got to go. Thanks for having me. Appreciate the time, as always.
Have a good one, bro.
One thing I'll say before I get off, because I've had a travel-ish day, is I don't think that again, like my assessment of Gabriel is like probably 3rd, 4th round. I did a scouting report on him before we hit Mobile. Again, I'm probably going to get that wrong. Mobile. Yes, I'm gonna have to instead of like writing it on a chalkboard, I'm gonna have to say it like 100 times.
Yeah.
But anyway, if the Giants do that, where they like get a Justin Fields or a Winston and then have Gabriel as the backup, I think to be completely transparent, this regime is good as gone. Because you're gonna have a year of like probably the veteran quarterback for the most part, maybe Gabriel at the end. And then the 5th year of their contract, you're going to have Gabriel likely start. And if he still has some kinks and this team surrounding Gabriel is not good enough, and to be honest with you, again, I don't trust Joe Shane and Brian Dable to build a team because they haven't built a team in 4 years.
I don't trust him to build a Lego set.
But Alex, would you mind him? Like, we're not saying Gabe on 1 or 2, like Gabe in round 3 or 4. And say we get some comp picks. Would you put him? Would you but would you take a round 3 pick and use it on Dylan Gabriel? If we get maybe like Justin Fields in here, you still say no?
It's not about Dylan Gabriel, the prospect. To me, it's about the plan, because
that makes sense.
Again, like waiting till round 3 to pick
to address the
quarterback position.
Well, we're not. Well, we got a quarterback in free agency,
and we're saying
we got it.
Right. But here's the thing: the selling point in which John Mara was given, probably by Brian Dable and Joe Shane, was getting the quarterback, not we're going to bring in a different quarterback in free agency and win games. We're going to get a quarterback of our own. That's at least my personal opinion based on the way this whole, thing has gone over the last few years. Now, I get it. Obviously, once again, Dylan Gabriel will not start right away. But let's just say Justin Fields, Jameis Winston, whoever, 1-year contract, they're gone. In 2026, Gabriel is starting. And maybe he's not at the level you thought he would be. And it's also contract time for Joe Shane and Brian Dable. It's contract time for them. If you win 8 games in 2026, are you really bringing these guys back? No, you're not. So that's why I say you got to go first round, maybe second, but that's just my thoughts.
Yeah, it depends on how it lands. That's part of the problem with that whole thing. It's we're saying if there's no Ward, there's no Sanders.
Yeah.
And I know some people are very high on him. I don't disrespect people with different opinions. I'm not high on Dart. I think he has trouble reading defenses. I think he has trouble throwing with the anticipation. And I just spent the last 6 years with a quarterback with the same issues.
I mean, I'm higher on Dart than you, but this weekend kind of put me in the back seat in terms of my thoughts on him. I don't think he played particularly well. Like, he made a few nice throws. Jack Besh was the one who came down with the catch that was more impressive than the throw itself. He had 1 fumble. Then he had another fumble, but it was taken away by a face mask penalty. So I'm not the biggest fan of that. I'm going to be completely honest with you. But, the combine and all this other crap is going to raise, and he's going to get talked about.
Absolutely, the circus are going to get the hands of these quarterbacks. I will say this real fast: like it comes to the point that we all can agree on one thing. This is not the best draft for quarterbacks. This is not last year, and this is not next year if everybody declares. This is this year, and this year there's, like, we all agree, there's really only 2 picks that is deserving of going number 1 and number 2. And the Giants are in a situation where we have to go out there, and if we want one of these quarterbacks, we could sit on it. We could absolutely sit on it and see how free agency goes. But it almost needs to be a year where, if we're really that desperate for a quarterback in the draft, we need to go up there and we need to trade with one of these teams and get our guy, whether it be Sanders, whether it be Ward. Because I understand that, we could wait at 3 and hopefully Sanders falls to us, because a trade could happen. Maybe a team like the Titans fall in love with Travis Hunter or something. But at the end of the day, is outside of Cam Ward and Sanders, I like Monroe, but he's not deserving to go there. I like Gabriel, but he's not deserving to go there. No one's talking about Quinn Ewers because of his injury. Jackson Dart and Howard is a certified round 2 and 3. Jackson Dart is a late first, I will admit that. And then to Riley Leonard. So there's really not a star-studded class that was last year. So the Giants need to go out there and make it happen. Whether you go and you trade like Carolina did with the Bears, or like the Eagles did with the Rams, but go out there and solidify your number 1 pick. And it's sad that we have to win that week to lose our number 1 spot. Now we're in this scenario. But continue.
So you want to draft somebody who point blank has like a mid to late round, draft grade by most people, and you want to now throw extra picks to make sure we get them. That's the problem we're into. Like, desperation is not just a fragrance by Calvin Klein here, you guys.
Yeah. That's why you don't go grocery shopping when you're hungry.
That's why I'm saying you have to get yourself a quarterback in the free agency. So this isn't a necessity, because this is not the draft to be trading up for a quarterback, guys. I don't mind reaching for one. And if you got one of those 2 guys and you think they're worth it, go for it by all means. But to me, you can't reach by also trading up and giving up extra.
Well, let's fix it right now then. We got 4 trade offers.
Are Ward and Sanders both off the board?
I see Sanders there at number 3, I think, right? Or is that Travis Hunter? Because I can see the Colorado.
I want to say it's Hunter.
It is.
Yeah. All right, hold on.
What quarterbacks are available?
Where's Dart ranked?
They're gone.
There's Milroe, Dart, Ewers, and Gabriel.
Okay, so
this is 3.
This is my personal opinion. Take BPA here, and then get Dart in the 2nd round, because they have him ranked 2nd round.
What's the trade options? What was that again?
The Jets, I think, were
offers were the
7?
Jets.
I'm just looking at where we're going. So 7.
No.
I wouldn't take it.
14, no.
The Jets are the
13,
only.
no.
Jets are best. The Jets best option.
I would take that Jets trade in a heartbeat.
All right.
I think no.
42, 188 in month 3.
I'm getting extra second round pick. I'm getting a third round for next year if I need to trade up to get a quarterback.
Yep.
But this is trading down, isn't it?
Yeah, but you're going 4
Trading
picks.
down from 3 to 7.
Yeah, and there's no
Sanders and Ward are already gone.
This really depends on how much you like Travis Hunter. I'm not a Hunter guy.
I'm good on Hunter. Like I'd rather take Carter if you're gonna take someone and not trade out. But you got to understand this. I'm not just saying this to say this. Brian Dable is an Alabama fan, and you don't know what he's thinking. If he really wants his mobile quarterback. Let's be honest. He wants his quarterbacks a lot, and Monroe wants a lot. Like this is a Brian Dable pick. Whether you want to believe it or not, this is a Brian Dable pick.
But he can't throw the damn ball.
He can't throw the ball, but you got to remember this is Brian Dable.
He's a quarterback. There's no but. If you're a quarterback and you can't throw the ball, there's no but.
Brian Dable's still the coach of this team, dude. That's all I'm
going to
saying.
tell you right now that Milroe is going to drop towards the back half of the second or even
could happen.
As things continue and see his pro days and his combine and all the bad throws he makes there. I'm telling you right now.
Trade back.
I trade back with the Jets personally.
All right, wait. Before we accept this trade, let's counter in on something here.
Okay.
Let's be aware that the players that I'm personally looking at here, I got Mason Graham, Hunter, Abdul Carter, and Will Johnson. Those are my 4, right?
Yep.
Are you guys into taking another tackle if we get it? Because there's a chance that those players I listed, all 4 of them are off the board by the time we hit the Jets.
At the 7th pick, there's going to be a tackle. And we're going to have to probably take a tackle because that's where they're probably ranked. If there's a lot of tackles. Should I scroll down, Lou? I guarantee you there's a lot of tackles coming up.
If those 4 are gone, then take McMillan.
Look, off right there. Yeah, a lot of tackles right there. Will Campbell, Kevin Burks. There's a lot right hovering around that area.
I'll take the trade for the picks, but
I'm gonna do whatever the panel wants to do.
I would trade if those 4 guys are gone. I go McMillan. I know it's weird to go back to
McMillan's a dog. I'll take McMillan. He's the best wide receiver in this draft.
And it was weird.
McMillan's a dog.
You put those 2.
Oh my god!
Now you get a veteran quarterback in with those 2 receivers. Woo.
Oh, that's
so you're saying take the trade back?
No, take McMillan.
No, we're saying we'll see who's available first. Before you say we take, but I would take the trade.
I'm taking the trade.
Yeah, take the trade, but I'm just saying McMillan and Neighbors on the same.
Can we get a vote? Who wants to trade back and who wants to pick now?
Trading. Put your hand up if you're trading.
Yeah, we can trade.
Trade? Okay.
I vote pick.
Well,
you're lost.
Sorry.
You are the weak link.
All right, come on, someone's be there. Oh, we got Carter, we got Hunter, we got Graham.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm taking Carter, brothers.
I'm taking Carter.
Take Carter.
You kind of
That's not even a question.
I'll figure it out.
That's not even a question.
It's a good problem to figure out.
Trade Thibodeau for a bucket of cheese.
Congratulations, Thibodeau. You're the new Aziz Ojolari.
Trade Evan Neal for a bucket of curds.
Who's on the board?
Yeah,
I'm not trading back 20 picks personally. We need to grab right here. We need to grab our quarterback.
Yeah, go to QBs. See if Jackson Dart.
There's Milroe. There he is.
There he
Jackson
is.
Dart.
There he is.
Dart.
Jackson Dart, Dylan Gabriel.
Dart.
Yeah, go do it.
I can't
Dart.
go Dart.
And it will be Dart if that happens because the Eli connection will come into effect.
That's facts.
Oh yeah, that worked well with Daniel Jones. Just saying. He's an Eli clone.
Go. Let's see all.
Yeah. Who else is available?
I feel like Dart's going to be real good if you give him time in the NFL.
Revel.
See, we could have.
Who knows Revel? I don't know. I know of him. I don't know too much on him yet.
I don't know too much about him either, but I know
I'll be right back.
Who do we got in the line of offensive guard?
Well,
at what?
At guard.
Offensive line.
Interior line, IOL.
Yeah.
You don't have it. Yeah, there you go.
Donovan Jackson's an interesting one.
Yeah. I mean, we got to take Duke here.
So Bo is pretty. I'm just labeling off the guys I know. Savaneo was decent at the Senior Bowl.
Yeah.
Bo, I got to talk to a little bit.
I like Ratledge, but I like him in the third.
Ratledge, I do like in the third. Zabel, I mean, it might be a reach if you really want to go guard here, but at the same time, he can play all 5 positions, and he was one of the more consistent offensive linemen.
That's what you need.
So
You know,
Who?
Donovan.
Great Zabel.
Oh.
I'm just stating it. I
I'm
don't.
looking up Revel's draft profile. I'm kind of liking him.
Yeah, I
was
kind of like the corner aspect right now. 'Cause
underrated recruit back in 2020.
We do need a cornerback.
A 6'2", 188 pounds.
Yeah, but we also need
Extremely
a guard.
athletic.
Yes.
Not the best ball skills, and not the best in zone.
we could get either Zabel or Ratledge at 65.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, that makes it there.
So get the cornerback.
Yeah, what's the
So,
cornerbacks are?
We got to fill out that corner room somehow. This is desperation.
I don't.
This-
Yeah, I don't know that much about
Joe
Weevil
Shane
Jr., but I don't know. I don't respect the program though. I know it's not about the program, but you know what I'm saying. It's almost like
It's a purple pirate program. How can you not like it?
you have a point. You have a point.
Let's see.
Everett. I like Dylan Everett from Georgia.
Porter is good.
I'll-
Thomas is good. But I'm for Revel here. I'm be honest.
Do it. I say lock
Yeah.
it in if you guys agree.
Cornerback, Revel.
Yep.
Yep.
Because it's value for the position, and we go back to interior offensive line now.
Look, it's an A+. Good for us.
Here we go.
Bam.
Zabel.
Zabel. Yep.
Zabel.
There he is. Now he's the kid that was
That's one of the best
tackle
teams,
they
yeah.
started to guard over at the Senior Bowl, and I think he started at center. I heard day one and didn't look the best at center snap wise, but looked really like a decent guard.
He got better in practice. Like the last day, Thursday of practice, like that was probably his worst day.
Yeah.
Because at guard he was getting beat a lot, but he wasn't too bad with snaps during the game. But I still am very, very high on.
I heard he's kind of a mauler guy too, which I like.
Yes, his work ethic is unmatched.
What about on a defensive tackle? I mean, somebody to help out Dex.
We
Yeah.
got to get a
That's
couple
true.
guys from free agency on that point. We got to stop counting on 6th and 7th round picks.
And we need another running back to pair with Tracy as well.
We
We
need
have
a.
6 picks left.
I want a
6
north-south
picks
guy.
left.
I
I
want
want a north.
Yes.
to see D line.
How about Winston? How is Winston? I don't know him. I'm thinking, what if we don't get Pinnock back?
Alexander is a steal here. I'm telling you right now.
I'm going to be honest with you guys. My draft research kind of ends right here, so I need to get back on it. I'm going to count on you guys to lead us the rest of the way.
Alexander.
We'll let you down like Joe Shane. Don't you worry.
No, you guys won't. Look at our grades. Look at our grades, guys. 1B+ is our worst grade. We're doing good.
And that was the quarterback.
Oh, facts.
Alexander and Peebles had great weeks at the Senior Bowl. I mean, I'm surprised to see Farmer ranked a little higher. Peebles, the only thing about him is that he's 6'1".
Because of the program, Florida State Seminoles. That's why.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying Peebles is 6'1". That's the only knock against him.
Who's the top on
we
the
got to
board
talk
overall?
I'll be right back.
We got to talk to both of them. But Drew, what were you saying?
Who's top on the board now overall? I'm curious. I don't want to just draft for need. I want to see. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're
Kevin
right.
Winston, safety.
I don't know much of Winston, but like I said, I'm worried about Pinnock not coming back. So I feel like nobody wants to stay here because, we're here.
Would you?
No, I don't blame him. I'm not knocking them all. I don't know how many choices there are for Pinnock afterwards, but it seems to be that safeties leave the Giants to become Pro Bowlers and all pros. So
What are we looking at? A tight end or a linebacker?
I think we're good at tight end.
I don't. Yeah, I don't know.
Linebacker. We need one to think later on, perhaps, but
Yeah.
No, yeah, there's nothing.
I'm with on the running back thing. We definitely do need a running back, but I don't want to reach for one either.
That's
I mean, that would be a Joe Shane thing to do. Can he return a kick? Let's get him.
Neal is a power back, I will say. He had a quiet week, but he's a power back. So
Devin Neal, yeah, he's a good back.
I
Ollie
think
Gordon,
the name Neil just doesn't sit well with me right
No,
now.
I can't. We can't get a Neal.
Oh, dude, Gordon's right there. Take Gordon. He's one of the best running backs. Well, in my opinion.
you just said that your knowledge of the draft ended last round.
Well, Gordon was the number one running back going into the season because nobody thought that Gency was going to have the season that he had, and he was one on my board going into the season. I think he is really talented. Obviously, he doesn't. I mean, like Tracy's there as well, but I mean, like he's in the fifth round, in the fourth round. I'll take him. That's just my opinion. And honestly, he's the only running back I know on the board right now, like that I did research on.
He got excited. He's like, I know one. I know one.
Yes, and I'm just happy to see his name.
All right, so far we got an edge, a QB, a cornerback, and an interior offensive lineman.
I still think your defensive help. Nacho ain't getting it done.
I would love me some
Defensive lineman, Alexander, Farmer. Peebles is only 6'1", you said?
yeah, but he makes up for it. So Alexander
He got
Peebles is my
gumption.
vote.
Huh?
He said he got gumption. He makes up for it in gumption.
Who's down?
So, we'll go to all. You got, I don't know why they're highlighting another wide receiver. A tight end,
Because
Gunnar Helm. Let's look at the tight ends.
We need a receiver. We didn't get one yet.
I'd say we could look at the receivers as well.
That's part of the problem is like doing this now is you just never know. It depends on what we get on the free agency market.
Rich, go back to tight end real fast. There's an Iowa guy available. You always love Iowa tight ends. I'm taking Luke because he plays for Iowa. That's my reason behind it.
Yeah,
Are we already replacing Bellinger?
In that case, I'm taking Ferguson. He's from Oregon.
No. No, but I'm a SC fan, but I'm just saying, Iowa tight ends, well, they hit. They always hit.
I would take Ferguson or not. This is later. This isn't now.
Yeah,
I would take Ferguson or Mitchell Evans later.
Let's go back to the wide receiver then.
For me, I'm still voting D-line.
D-line works with me too.
Another LSU receiver.
I'm just going to ride in the back seat.
Yeah, I don't know what's going to happen with that.
Tyrone Lacey was the best wide
let's
receiver
go-
that
let's go
LSU
D-line.
had this year, though. But I will say this, Lacey's a dog.
Yeah, let's go D line. I'm not seeing anything else that's intriguing. It's a matter of which
Farmer,
one.
Alexander.
My vote's on Alexander.
Yeah.
I'll trust Bronx.
Him and Deontay Johnson will perform a nice little Toledo combination for us.
I'll take Alexander, but would you guys agree if Lacey's there at 155, we should take Lacey?
Let's see what else is there.
I don't know nothing about him.
Well, I know
We got an A.
I know he's in a hit and run. He's under investigation for a hit and run. That's all I know.
That's not good.
Oh,
I did not hear about that.
Y'all didn't hear about that? I'm surprised.
No, I should look into it. I believe you. I don't need to look into it, but I'm going to look
hey,
into it. For my own
Kobe
research.
Bryant.
Yeah, we go. Kobe Bryant.
Kobe
Now,
Bryant.
is it Kobe Bryant number 8 or Kobe Bryant number 24? Key part.
Let's see.
Number 8 did not do good things.
We're not going to take a kicker, obviously.
Is Ollie Gordon still there?
I'm just saying, I see Hook there from Toledo. We can keep the Toledo theme going. We can have more Toledo players than the entire rest of the NFL combined.
Ollie Gordon is not there.
Still some nice backs on the board, but I think we should switch other positions.
Unless you
Luke
really
is still there.
Like I would take a tight end at 155.
Okay. We do need backup at safety.
I said we may need a starter.
Yeah, he's right.
I don't know
Well,
what.
it's Belton and Newbin.
Yeah.
Kyron Lacey.
I would take Lacey.
Yeah, I got the.
I mean, like, we don't want the hit and one, but like, if he, he's a dog. I will say that. When I watched all
Oh, that's the guy with the hit and run. Never
the
mind.
hit and one. Yeah.
Fine.
Should I go scroll down? Reels Mo miss.
A bunch of
But
blanks to me.
Nah.
nah.
I say Kobe Bryant. Shit.
Was he bringing
I'll
Shaq?
take Kobe and I'll come back and I'll take a tight end.
we need help in depth at the cornerback room because
I know we need to stop the run.
Need help in depth everywhere.
That's true.
Riley Leonard,
Nah.
No.
quarterback Notre Dame.
God, no.
Nice kid.
Even a heartbeat.
No.
I'll take Daniel Jones over him. I'm sorry.
The only thing
Kobe.
good about him is his run style. Let's see all real quick.
Kobe.
A lot of depth corners on the board, but I'm not double dipping.
We don't want Robinson to get more.
Quincy Riley was locking shit up at the Pro Bowl. I mean, at the Senior Bowl.
Riley had a quiet but productive week, and Peebles is also there. We're at the defensive part again.
Yeah. Listen, I got no problem going D-line. Let's be honest, our D-line needs a lot of help.
Yeah.
You know that we love our D-line.
We have, honestly, we're usually pretty good at drafting them too.
Yeah, we take a lot of D-line and tight ends. I noticed. Joe Shane loves his D-line and his tight end.
So you want to give Peebles a shot?
Wait 1 second. Can I see what offensive tackle does? Right here.
Offensive tackle protects the quarterback.
Nelson. Wisconsin is always known for the offensive lineman.
The Giants' offensive tackle is more like the ushers at the concert that show you where to go. He's over here.
I'm gonna stick with double up on D line.
Let's go for it.
Do it.
Chapilo at 155 might have to be a conversation, but that we'll talk about.
We're going Peebles.
Okay, I'll take Peebles
over Robinson.
Yes.
Yeah.
C+.
We got a C for that.
You can't win them all.
All right.
We need a running back.
We do.
Mullins.
Harvey isn't bad. Tootin isn't bad either. What offensive?
I'm an SC fan, and I'm just saying Mullins because he beat us.
What was what?
Offensive tackle.
OT. Hey, Nelson, he's still there.
Hey.
That might be a good value pick. I don't know about
I know
him.
you, Nelson.
That's going to be a C or a D right there because the system decides who we should get.
I think we take the Michigan running back and don't.
Man, if we don't take Kyron Lacey here,
I'll take the Michigan running back.
I mean, it is a 5th round pick, so like, we're just getting depth BPA.
If you're gonna go wide receiver, it's either gonna be for me, it's gonna be Lacey or Bills Jr.
I might have to stick with Lacey here. Just take the risk. It's a fucking 5th round pick.
LSU is pretty good at wide receivers, obviously, and plus there's probably honestly before
he's
you
the
do
best
this,
wide receiver coming out.
Call neighbors and say, what do you think?
Yeah,
that's true. And Kyron Lacey, like when you watched him play, he's the number one receiver they had.
So we need running back probably, and I want to see if we still have any of the offense.
Take Mullins. That's my if you guys are going running back.
Trapilo. Oh, he could play multiple spots. Another guy we got to talk to. Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm gonna vote for the trenches again.
I'm down with the trenches. I don't have no problem.
Hey, you know I'm all about the old line.
Yeah, GNATION.
This has to be running back.
Yeah, running back. You got to take the Michigan guy if he's available. That's a good grade.
There he is.
Take him. Yes, we still got him.
All right. Let's see about that tight end room.
Also linebacker.
Pause.
Right. Mitchell Evans. Mitchell Evans he's a little bit of both. Bartholomew's more of a blocker. And then linebacker. Let's see what we got at linebacker. Yeah. McLeod can play a little edge, and Kaiser had a good week.
There can be only one.
Yes.
I'm down with whatever you guys want to take.
We got a kicker here.
I'll be down with a kicker as well.
We need a kicker.
We do need a kicker.
We only got one pick left, fellas.
A kicker is a good spot. We need kickers.
I'm doing linebacker or tight end.
I'd rather do linebacker. I'm tired of drafting tight ends.
I don't think we need a tight end right now, personally.
Facts.
I'm gonna take either McLeod or Kaiser because of his experience. McLeod can play edge too.
McLeod.
McLeod.
I can't. Every time we have a player named McLeod, I have to make so many Highlander references on the show that we can't draft him.
Connor McLeod.
Here we are.
I think we
There
did
can
pretty
only
good
be one.
first mock draft.
All right.
The first
Highlander.
edition mock draft.
Then we just ignore the sequel entirely.
Dude, Corden and Doit, that's killer.
Let's get the comments that there could be only one. See, I like most of our picks.
What's up, JC Saint? Nerd Squad in the building. Didn't even see you in the comments, my friend. My bad. Hey, let's see if the Michigan kick is still available. If we can grab him in free agency.
Oh, we'll get a free agent kicker no matter what. I mean, I don't think there's a shot in hell that can know that.
Wait.
Yeah, I'm pretty satisfied.
Justin Tucker might be available.
Dude, we got fucking Lacey in the 6th round. That's a steal. If he's not in jail, like if he can play football, you know?
Yeah.
We got
McLeod,
Mullins in the 7th. Wow.
linebacker. Mullins, running back. Offensive tackle. Trapilo, wide receiver. Lacey. Defensive lineman. Peebles. Darius Alexander, defensive lineman. Gray Zabel, interior offensive lineman. Revel Jr., cornerback. Jackson Dart, quarterback. Abdul Carter, edge rusher.
And we still got a 3rd round pick next year out of the thing, too.
Yep.
We arguably got the best player in the draft in Carter, guys. I don't know how you guys feel about him, but he literally, in my board, he's like literally up there with Travis Hunter.
Penn State guys scare me. I feel like every year there's these.
Barkley's from Penn State. But you
I'm
mean
just-
on defense?
I'm saying every year there's these great edge rushers from
That's
Penn
true.
State, and half the
Michael
time,
Parsons? Michael
freaking-
Parsons?
well, he was technically a linebacker, not an edge rusher when he came out. But you know, they have great players that come out of there, but they have a lot of guys I feel like just don't ever pan out. That school scares me.
Well, we do know that we have an LSU receiver, and they pan out just fine.
They do.
Nerd Cage, what's going on? Jay St. G.
Cage in the building.
Frank Waiters. Zabel won't fall that far. Yeah, I believe you on that.
Yo, Drew, do you have a channel? I don't know why I'm not subscribed to you.
It's Channel 7.
It's called Channel 7?
Yeah, ABC. Right after Sam Champion. Is he still on? I don't even know. I've been in Florida for too long.
That's
But
good.
guys, it's late, man. I gotta work in the morning. I appreciate everybody tapping in, man. Shout out to Alex, man. I had fun with you at the Senior Bowl. Pause. You know what I'm saying? We had a good time, man. You, Luca, Ryan. Look forward to seeing you at the draft. So
You have to wait for you
plan for
have
that.
to wait another year before you see me at a draft, Lou.
Yo, Snorf, what you playing, though? You've
Say
been
what?
looking down the whole time.
You'll have to wait another year before you see me at a draft.
Pittsburgh.
Yep.
Pittsburgh. Snorf, what are you
Okay.
playing, though? You
The
was
Giants also
playing
playing
something.
Carolina this year, but yeah.
They're not. They're playing.
We're not playing in Carolina.
Yeah.
Carolina last year, and instead that was the game they moved to Germany.
Yeah, you guys are
They're
right.
going to
Yeah,
be
yeah.
playing New Orleans this year because strength of victory favored the Panthers over the Saints. So
Yeah.
the Saints-
JD, I don't want nothing to do with Donald. Nothing to do with Donald. I'll take a Sanders award over Donald any day of the week.
I am, though, because I try to go to one game a year, being down here in Tampa Bay. Try to go to one game a year. I think New Orleans is going to be the game next year. Get me some shrimp and grits and go see some football.
Okay. All right. Guys, make sure you go subscribe to Big Blue in the Bronx, Mets 2128, two giant goofballs, Zion Zenith, Miz in the midday, man. And if you haven't subscribed to G Nation Inside Sports, I don't know what the heck you're doing. And here's another one for you. Go subscribe to Nick's Cast, Alex's brother Luca. Okay? Let's get them subs up over there, man. All right. But until next time, man, we'll be back Thursday night for the Big Blue Lounge, man. Appreciate all you guys tapping in, man. Greatly appreciate all you guys, man, for real. And y'all have a good one, man. Enjoy yourselves. You heard?
Yeet.
Ain't no chatting, no like, it's just action. All my just front like they tapped in. You already know. Poppin'. Ain't no stopping me, man, steady rockin'. Watch them hate on me now cause I'm locked in. Watch the hate on me now cause I'm popping. I ain't stopping.